Okay, so now we're going to talk about solving some word problems, but the first thing we're going to talk about is consecutive numbers. I'm going to abbreviate that. Those are integers in counting order. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Those are in order. So if I asked you to find two consecutive integers whose sum is 25, how would you do that? You have to be able to write an equation in algebra. I know you can sit there and guess and check and figure it out, okay, but you have to be able to set it up. So to do that, we're going to use let statements. So we're going to say let x is our first number. Now, I'm not saying our first number is 1, okay, but let's just pretend it is. If it were 1, to get to the next one, wouldn't I have to add a 1 to that x? If 1 represented my x, to get to the next number, it would be x plus 2. So now we're going to say let x plus 1 to get to 2 would be my second number. So again, like I said, if 1 were my first number and 1 is x, to get my second number, I'd have to say x plus 1. Okay? So now I'm going to take this let statement, x is my first number, plus what my second number would be is going to equal 25. So now I'm going to combine my like terms, so that would be 2x plus 1 equals 25. I'm going to solve, divide by 2, and x equals 12. So my first number is x, so this is my first number. X is 12. And to find my second number, I'm going to substitute my 12 in here and add 1 more to it, and it gives me 13. So this is my first number and my second number. To check that, they're consecutive numbers, right? 12 and 13. And if I add those together, it should give me 25, and it does. Let's do another one. Find two consecutive integers whose sum is, we'll say 75 this time, okay? So again, they're going to be consecutive, so they have to be one after another. So we're going to do our let statement. X is going to be our first number. So if I want my second number, I have to add 1 to that first one to find my second number, right? 1, 2, 3, so I'd have to add 1. Okay, so now I'm going to say x plus 1 equals 75. I'm going to add them together, so I get 2x plus 1 equals 75. Then I'm going to subtract 1, and I'm going to solve. So x equals 37. So if x is 37, I'm going to take that x and I'm going to add 1 to it to give me 38. So this should be my first number. This should be my second number. They're consecutive. If I add them together, they're going to equal 75. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's find 3 consecutive numbers. 3 consecutive, I'm going to abbreviate now, numbers. And the sum is 51. So let's do our let statement again. So let x equal our first number. What do I have to do to x to get to my second number? I've got to add 1 to it. That's my second number. And if I take x and I want to go from 1 to 3, I've got to add 2 to it, right? That would give me my third number. So we're going to say x plus 1 plus x plus 2, and that's going to total 51. So now I have 3x plus 3 equals 51. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. 3x would equal 48. and then I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and x would equal 16. So if this is 16, I'm going to take my 16, I'm going to add 1, that's going to give me 17. I'm going to take my 16 and substitute it in here, plus 2 more is going to give me 18. So 16 is my x. 16 plus 1 gives me 17, and 16 is my x again. I add it to 2, it's going to give me 18. So they're consecutive. If I add 16 plus 17 plus 18, it should equal 51. Let me just check in the calculator. 16 plus 17 plus 18, it gives me 51. So my answer is correct. Now let's look at something where it says 2 consecutive even integers, and they're going to equal 94. So think about even integers. They're like 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on, okay? So let's just look at those numbers. So I'm going to say, again, let x equal first number. I was going to say 2. That's my first number. So think about this. If 2 were my first number and I want to go to the next even number, I'm doing what to the x? So let x plus, it's going to need 2 to get to my second number. Right? So now I'm going to say x plus 2 equals 94. So I get 2x plus 2 equals 94. Subtract 2. Let's divide by 2. And x equals 46. Okay, that's an even integer. So if my first one is 46, I have to add 2 to the 46 to get my second even integer. So that would be 48. So now those are even integers, and they're consecutive even integers. So 46 plus 48 has to equal 94, and it does. So that one checks out. Okay, now we have to look at some word problems. And we're going to say Mary went bowling, or no, I'm going to say Sally, because Mary is one of your problems. Went to the bowling alley. Okay. Each game is $3. Okay? She spent shoe rental is $2.50. She spent $20.50. I know you guys can figure this out by guessing and checking, substituting in, but you have to in algebra to write an equation. So think about this. Each game is $3. So I know $3 X, because I don't know how many games, and that's the question, how many games? How many games did she play? That's the question. So we know each game is $3. No matter what, she has to pay $2.50. So that's constant, right? It's always going to be $2.50. And it's going to be $3 for each game, but we don't know how many games she played. But we do know she spent $20.50. So now let's solve it. So we're going to subtract $2.50 from both sides. Bring down our $3 X equals, I don't see my math here. So $20.50 minus $2.50, I should know that. That's 18. And then I'm going to divide that by 3. And X equals $6. So it looks like each game is $6. That's pretty steep, huh? But let's check it. So if we take 3 times 6 plus $2.50, it's supposed to equal $20.50. Let's just put it in the calculator. 3 times 6 plus 2.50, it balances. So we know the answer is 6 games. Okay, the next problem. A serviceman, any kind of serviceman, if they come to fix your refrigerator or whatever, air conditioner, charges $60 just to come out to your house. So no matter what, if they just come out to your house, you have to pay them $60. Okay? Then, for every hour, each hour, you spend $100. He charges $100 per hour, $60 just to come out. And say you spent $460. This is how much you spent. How many hours was that person there? So, it's $60 no matter what, right? And it's $100 per hour, every time you see an each or a per variable, and then we know they spent $460. So let's solve it. X equals 4 hours. So they were there for 4 hours. Now we're going to check it. So 60 plus 100 times the 4 is supposed to equal 460. 60 plus 400 equals 460. This side equals this side. $460 equals $460. So that checks out. Okay, now we have a couple perimeter problems. So the length of a rectangle is 2 inches more than its width. If the perimeter is 98 inches, you need to find, or I'm just going to say if, I'm going to say the perimeter is 98 inches. Find its dimensions. So, here's our rectangle. And honestly, okay, so we're saying the length of a rectangle is 2 inches more than its width. Well, we're going to say the width, we don't know what it is, right? So we're going to identify it as x. So we're going to say x. If the length is 2 inches more than that, then that has to be x plus 2. Okay? Remember perimeter, add all sides. So think about this. As you walk around the rectangle, you have to add the sides up. So if this side is x, this has to be x, and this one has to be x plus 2. So I'm going to say x plus 2. I went from here to here. Plus x plus 2, and we know it equals 98. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4x plus 4 equals 98. You have another one here too, 2 times. We can do that too, but we're just going to add them up. Alright, so now we're going to subtract 4 from both sides. 4x equals 94. Let's divide by 4. $23.5. I'm going to leave it as a decimal too. Okay, so 23.5 is x. So this side is 23.5. This is 23.5 plus 2, and that equals 25.5. So remember, we've got to be able to add them all up. So we have 2 that are 23.5 plus 2 that are 25.5, and it's supposed to equal 98. Numbers aren't pretty, but we can still do it. This one's 47 plus 51 is supposed to equal 98. 98 equals 98. That one checks out. Okay, that's it.